You're listening to Speak, Lord. I'm Ryan Rogers. I'm going to suggest a prayer we can pray in any of our difficulties. When we are afraid, when we feel overwhelmed, when we feel outnumbered, when we feel stressed. And the prayer is, Lord, open my eyes. It's a prayer that Elisha prayed for his servant when his servant was freaking out. I love this story. It's in 2 Kings chapter 6. And in this book that is dedicated to kings, Elisha's story takes up 10 chapters. 10 chapters of amazing things God does. And in this story, he has frustrated the king of Syria because in his prophetic gift, he knows what the king of Syria is thinking and saying from a distance. God reveals to him the plans of the king. So whenever the king tries to attack, Elisha knows his plans and ruins them. So the king's frustrated and he thinks there's a leak in his army. And then his men tell him that it's actually this prophet, Elisha, who knows what the king says in his bedroom. So the king says, we got to take care of this guy. And he goes to surround Elisha's camp. Elisha knows that they're coming because God reveals to him the king's plans. But he stays right where he is. He's not afraid. And his servant goes out, and here's where I'll start reading the story. 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 15 and on. When the servant of the man of God rose early in the morning and went out, behold, an army with horses and chariots was all around the city. And the servant said, Alas, my master, what shall we do? That would be a scary thing to wake up to. And Elisha says, Do not be afraid, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them. That is an awesome, heroic thing to say. But if you're the servant, you're struggling to believe that it's true. It is true. God is more powerful. The forces of good are more numerous than the forces of evil. But it didn't feel very true that morning for Elisha's servant because as he looked up, all he could see was the Syrian army surrounding him. And that's when Elisha prayed the prayer, O Lord, please open his eyes that he may see. So what is it that we see when God opens our eyes? Well, the text says, So the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. When our eyes are opened, we see the presence of God. And every scary situation looks completely different when our eyes are open to the presence of God. When that servant saw the presence of God, the Syrian army wasn't scary anymore. So that's the prayer for us. Any situation in which we feel overwhelmed or scared or outnumbered, pray this prayer. Lord, open my eyes to your presence. As I let myself think about it, I want so badly to see the armies of God. I want to see the horses and the chariots and the flaming swords. I want my eyes open to see his presence the next time I have to have a difficult conversation, or the next time that I'm overcommitted and tired and don't know how I'm going to get it done. I want to see his presence the next time I'm in an argument with someone or have anxiety about a relationship. And I want my eyes open to see God's presence. And I'm pretty convinced that that would change my perspective on everything. How is God speaking to you today? Speak, Lord. Your servant is listening. You can find more of Speak Lord at PastorRyanRogers.com or by searching for Palmer SDA Church wherever you get podcasts.